faces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Evening, everyone. Evening. My esteemed guests are here again, as always. My partner in crime, Kenny Ken. Kenny, how you doing, my friend?
I'm all good. I'm all good. You know, it's been like done a podcast for yourself and Lee and Matty. It was a podcast with Dan. You know, I watched the game. You know, I think sane Arsenal fans have a different interpretation than what fans who I call the VIP fans, who genuinely care more about getting more followers, more likes, maybe more sort of like spin-offs, probably get a content award, those kind of people. Then they don't want to talk about the great game, and it was a good game. They want to talk about the injustice because they want to be seen as the biggest Arsenal fan. As we speak, they're on their way to the Emirates because to the Carabao Cup game, because some of those guys would turn up to an open envelope so they can get interviewed afterwards. But this is a real talk.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron, thanks for joining, mate. Good stream you did the other night. Watched it, really enjoyed that.
Cheers,
mate. How you been doing?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, as you can see, I've been relegated to the bedroom again, Jez. But these podcasts are pretty much the only action it sees lately, so I need to put a stop to that. I think, pause. But yeah, no, all good. Things are going all right. Settling down a little bit on my show. Getting there, mate.
No, it's all good, mate. It's all good. Matty will hopefully be joining us. He's at the moment dealing with getting emergency stuff in for the hurricane that's about to descend on them, so in America. So hopefully he'll be okay and he'll join us. But let's get into this. Right, I'm not going to talk about this too much. It was a great disappointment at the weekend. I was absolutely gutted. Stupidity cost us 30 seconds of lack of concentration, Aaron. And if we just kept it together, mate, we would have won that game. And but that didn't happen, man, did it? Just doesn't seem to happen for us at the Etihad.
Well, I mean, it would have almost happened if it weren't for two simple words, Leandro Trossard. And I was extremely scathing of the little insomniac on my show on Sunday, as you know, you watched. And the same with Declan Rice. And it's just a little bit frustrating, that these little moments can sort of change possibly, the whole course of the season. Now, I know a lot of Arsenal fans have sort of been saying as well, they've been saying, oh, this is, they're spirited. It's a performance of champions. To be fair, I actually think it shows more hallmark of a sign of champions from Man City to actually not lose the game they were going to win. They were going to lose. Sorry. So I don't know where that's sort of coming from. We've dropped 2 points, and one of our own players yet again lets down. I mean, when you actually look at the fixtures, we've actually had quite a hard run. With the 3 away games, we should actually have 15 out of 15 if it weren't for 2 absolute moronic moments. And annoyingly, they've come from our own players. There's absolutely, I'm not having it. There's no excuses, bar our own players have let us down and they've cost us 2 points. It's just as simple as that. There's the refs, we know the standard of the referee in this country could be better, but against Brighton, we had plenty of chances to put them away. Against Man City, we're 2-1 up and then we get sent off. Trossard's going in, jumping like that. What's he doing on the yellow card already? What's he even doing that for? Let alone hoofing the ball away after 3 weeks. All we've been doing is talking about kicking the ball away and getting red cards. I mean, it's even worse than Declan's when you think about it, because it's relevant, isn't it? Surely at the forefront of all these Arsenal players' heads is don't kick the ball away. The ref's going to, because it's at the forefront of the ref's head. He can't wait. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, by the letter of law, he's right. But we love giving him the option, didn't we? We love giving him the opportunity. And he goes in his card. What can you do? But yeah, it's it's a massive bit of a stinker, you know, considering as well these two players, Declan Rice and Leandro Trossard. You know, Declan Rice is a captain of West Ham. He's a captain of England. Trossard's hardly an academy player himself. He's 29, 30. You know, they're not kids. They should know better. They're senior members of this squad. It's frustrating. You know, it's just frustrating thinking, you know, of all the places we could have won there. Yeah, we haven't done since 2015, a 2-0 win. To be that close away from it. And yeah, it's a bit of a gutter, Jez, but, you know, I suppose what we've got to make sure we do is not mess around against Leicester. But I'm sure we'll get into that at some stage in the show.
Big up, Matty. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're going to be okay with this incoming hurricane that's sweeping across your region.
On the way.
Batten down your hatches, man. So look after yourselves out there. Mate, disappointing, wasn't it? Sunday, disappointing. I mean, it was just, we were hanging in there by our fingernails. We defended like lions. But, man, it just couldn't get it over the line again at the Etihad. It was just, I was fuming. I'm still annoyed now. I won't lie. I'm still bloody annoyed now. But me move on. But mate, give us your brief breakdown on it, man.
Well, it was a tough draw, man. It was a tough one to swallow because until we defeat this team the way we need to defeat this team, mentally this is gonna hang over our heads all season long. And this is 2 games this year where we've dropped 4 points from goofing off, getting red cards and yellow cards. Well, red cards and yellow cards. And I just think that right now we lack discipline. See, in order to become champions, you have to have all phases of the game covered. You got to be able to deal with high pressure situations on a consistent basis. You got to show resilience. You got to show confidence. You've got to show, understanding of the situation. You've got to be able to assess situations. You got to be able to know when to be aggressive. You got to know when not to be aggressive. You got to know that on a championship team knows how to rise above the referee. And I don't think we've gotten to that point where we can go past the referee. Our fan base has sat on mass the last 4 days, gentlemen, and they have lambasted the referee, and they have lambasted every official. They have lambasted anything that goes against us. And until we start whining and moaning about things that we can't control what the referees do, but we can control giving up a goal. We can control not scoring when we have opportunity to score. We have defenders leading the ranks in the high scoring on this team this season. We did. The referee had nothing to do with the transfer window. The referee had nothing to do with getting the striker. The referee had nothing to do with selling and loaning players and not returning players in to strengthen the team. So what we have is what we have. And it's going to be tough. And I've told people this season it's going to be tough. And until people finally get it through their head, and this team finally gets it through their heads, that they're going to have to be perfect most of the season. And when I want people to understand this, when I say perfect, I'm not talking about, well, we have to, we got to beat City. No, we can beat like Leicester City this weekend, tonight, Bolton. These are the games that we need to be winning, and until we can win the games that we need on paper that it looks like we should win, then we're going to keep going through this same vicious cycle of looking for the next person to blame and the next excuse, because that's all Sunday was an excuse. The referee, because we were leading the game 2-1. So, well, why didn't we close it out? Well, man, the referee, man, it was, we were down a man. But you never hear anybody this week go back and say, you know what, we just didn't hang in there mentally until the end. We just should have just locked it in. We've got to rise above. Nope, they go directly back to that referee. And that referee is not the reason why we lost that game on Sunday. Oh, not lost, but drew that game on Sunday. Pardon me. That's how it feels. It feels like a loss. I'm sorry, gentlemen. It just feels like a loss.
That's how I feel. The thing, anybody mods in the chat, any idiots in here, just block them, all right? Let's get rid of them. The Muppets are going to be out tonight. We know that. you know, at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, Tim, why would I want to speak to the Yorkshire Gunner? Why would I want to speak to him? No. So we packed. Kenny, you were gutted. I was gutted. You're very passionate fan cam with Lee. Summed it up basically. It was very annoying. Nearly got it over the line, but we just couldn't manage it in the end. And I was absolutely gutted. I'm still annoyed, but give us your breakdown, mate, and then we're going to move on to new things.
You know the thing about it is so disappointing and so frustrating about our fans, the way they were going on and moaning about the whole thing. There were so many talking points. You know, the first talking point that many of our fans talked about was the fact that Timber started right back instead of Benjamin White. And it wasn't an injury, it was tactical. You know, that's an exciting thing because, you know, a lot of people, I'm one of those people who refuses to accept Timber as a left back. I think Timber has been brought to the football club to play as a right centre back or right back. And because of his, I believe, superior defensive qualities, I think he's going to, Ben White could be edged out of the side. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about, you know, the first, you know, 20 minutes when Man City ruined us. You know, they were at it. They scored a goal where Calafiori wasn't part of the wide awake club. Our defenders were sleeping, and they scored a good goal. And it looked like, remember, Godwin hit the post. It looked like they were dominating. And then Rodri got injured, and then whilst they're margin on Rodri, we get a free kick. It's our free kick. The referee, allows play to go on. Man City are rattled. We score a great goal. It's all rattled. You know what I mean? All rattled. And then we take over. We get given a warning in the 38th minute. And then the 45th minute, we're winning the game for our set pieces. And then the massive talking point was Trossard. You know, you can't exempt Trossard from what happened. He cost us the game. He kicked the ball away. 3 weeks ago, we had the situation with Declan Rice where he did the same thing. You would have thought we had a warning point. I mean, all these fans boasting about Benjamin White and his shithousery. Oh, go on then. Or going on TV, talking about dark arts. All you'll say is to referees saying, you know what? Watch Benjamin White. Watch all these players. They're already watching the three gabbies about them diving. And then second half, I thought it was a great rearguard defensive display. The only negative is, had we had a proper striker and some creativity, we would be able to. We wouldn't be giving Man City probably 87% possession, like we did in the second. I think it was 87 anyway. We'd have had an outlet and made it more difficult, even with 10 men. But the fact that we had 10 men, and the fact that we got no creativity and just kicking the ball into the abyss, I think that let Man City into the game. You know, they weren't always going to be wasteful in terms of like taking shots. You know, the balls went to the wrong. They say the balls went to the wrong player, but I think what killed us, and no one wants to talk about, is our time wasting. Because from my experience watching football over the years, referees play a game with visiting sides when they go to Anfield back in the 80s, Old Trafford under Sir Alex Ferguson times, and Highbury and Emirates when we were on top. And obviously, they do the same thing with Man City now. It's always going to be favouring the attacking side. Injury time favours the attacking side. I don't care what anyone says. And when the defensive side blatantly wastes time, all you're doing is playing the attacking side's hands. You know, there was 7 minutes injury time. 7 minutes is the minimum. Is the minimum, which means they can't do anything less than 7 minutes. If you waste more time or there's more incidents, then what the referees are allowed to add time on. Arsenal fans could talk all the rubbish they want about the ball being in place, mate. You stop trying to be experts on refereeing and trying to be experts on things you know nothing about, because the majority of you lot don't know anything about football. Let's be honest with ourselves. It happened. It's been happening for years. Referees play that game. If you're going to waste time, then what's going to happen? They're going to say, right, I'm going to play that game, and we're going to ensure that we're going to add time on to the injury time, and we're going to give enough time for the attacking team to either get that winner or get that equaliser. And that's exactly what happened. What we saw in the second half, especially in injury time, we've seen it in many games in the Premiership and many games in the Football League over the years. You watch Sheffield Wednesday and Man United in 1993. Sheffield Wednesday are winning 1-0. They were wasting time. Steve Bruce scores those two headers where there was injury time on top of injury time. It happens.
It does. The thing, this is the one thing that really pees me off, right? You know, I refereed at quite a decent level, obviously not professionally, but I refereed at a decent level. And I can tell you one thing for certain: referees do not cheat. Right? They do not. I never cheated ever in any game. You know, I refereed West Ham reserves, right? Not my favourite team. Did I cheat? No. Because at the end of the day, I've said this so many times, these referees get marked out of 100 for every game they play. They are professionals. They do not want to be knocked down to the Championship or Division 1 or Division 2. They want to keep their Premier League status, which means they will referee to the highest standards to their ability, and they will play the game within the law. That is what they do. I'm fed up with hearing this. Right? Michael Oliver played the game as he saw it. Yes, people crying about the second yellow. Well, I thought he'd given us the second yellow for the foul, but it was actually for kicking the ball away. That is in the law of the game. So accept it, people. Accept it. If you break the law of the game, you're going to get punished for it. It's clearly a directive this season given to referees that if you keep kicking the ball away for time wasted, you're going to get punished for it. Unfortunately, yeah, we've done it twice.
We don't listen. Yeah,
we need to learn. By the way, people, it's over 100 in the house here. There's only 26 lights. Smash the bloody lights up, please. You know, and sub if you are new. It does help the stream. Nimsy says Arsenal 4-1 Bolton tonight. Well, we're going to give our predictions in a little bit. Man City being linked to Martin Zubimendi in January. I wouldn't be at all surprised on that at all, with Rodri out. Right, let's talk about that. That really winds me up. Matty, I'll come to you on this. This is Arsenal. This is Arsenal Football Club, right? I thought we were classy Arsenal.
I always tell women.
Classy Arsenal. And yet we've got Arsenal fans celebrating this man is now out for the rest of the season with an ACL. That is a bloody disgrace, man. I would never, ever wish a football player to have a bad injury. Let's be fair. An injury like that, an ACL, that can possibly be a career-ending injury. We had it, let's be honest, we had it with Cazorla on his ankle, right, with his Achilles. Never came back and played again. Career over. See you later. I am not celebrating watching a player get injured like that. Let's talk about when Ramsey, double leg break, yeah? Eduardo, yeah?
Oh, that's nasty.
Those players never were the same after that, in my opinion. Matty, give me a review, man.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up Eduardo. I was going to say, let's not forget the pain that cost us that season. That cost us a title. That literally cost us a title, you know. And it's just sickening, man. Look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm from the old school, and I always want to be the team at full strength because there's no excuses. There's no excuses. I want to be the team at full strength. Unfortunately, he's out for the year, but let's just call a spade a spade. The man's only played an hour of football this year, and they are doing just fine. And last year he was out on red card, and everybody remember last season. Everybody, oh man, he's out 3-4 games. You know, due to red cards. Oh yeah, man, yeah, we got it, yeah. And how did that work out? They adjusted. See, if we have players that are out, multiple players out, or players out for extended periods of time, we're in trouble. They have the resources to fix that situation. And once again, that's another problem of Brother Edu. Edu's put us in this situation. You know, we are the ones that can't afford to have a bunch of players out for any reason, whether it's red cards or either injuries. And that statement right there from this gentleman is true. As soon as the game started, bam, laid him out. Judge, your referee, hands to the face is what? What's hands to the face? It's a red card. But we got to see people on social media yesterday changing their pics to Rodri crying and screaming. I mean, come on, man. And we're supposed to be a quote unquote classy Arsenal. That's what we've been told. The classy Arsenal. It was sickening to me, Jay. It was sickening to me, fellas, that to see that kind of behavior. But I just sometimes you have to be very careful of being the loudest one in the room, because you're the loudest one in the room. That usually means you're the weakest.
Did you see last season, Matty? And I'm going to come to Aaron after this one, and I'll ask Kenny exactly the same thing. Did you see any opposing fans celebrating Timber's ACL injury last year?
No, not one. Not one person even brought it up after the game. After that game last year when we played, nobody brought it up. There was no celebration. Our fans when it comes down to Man City, they think any edge we can get over them, they think that's going to get us a title. And look, y'all can clip this for all day. You can do whatever you want to do with it. I'm telling you now, until we do what we need to do, which is win games, which is operate the way we need to operate, handle pressure situations, it doesn't matter what happened over at City. It doesn't matter what they do over there, because they've always got a problem to fix. The problem, when the problem pops up, they always have a solution. They have a break glass in case of emergency. You know, when you're in the airport, break glass in case of emergency. They always have a break glass in case of emergency. So it is what it is, man. They're going to come back. They're going to make adjustments, and it's going to shock people when they don't miss a beat.
Exactly, Aaron. I think it's an absolute disgrace that any fan would celebrate a professional footballer's injury. I think there's no need for it. And same question I asked Matty, man. Then I'll kind of come to Kenny with the same thing. Get your views. Yeah. People in the chat, what do you think about this? Because I think it's a bloody shit show in the fact that you'd celebrate a man's possible career-ending injury, right? And I didn't see any opposing fans, Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, whoever, celebrating when Timber did his in his first game for Arsenal. I didn't see any of that. Did you?
Yeah. Well, Jez, look, to answer the Rodri thing, it's absolute bloody disgrace, isn't it? Yeah, the club, I reckon, yeah, it is classy Arsenal, but the problem we deal with now is a lot of these fans ain't. The vast majority now, and they're growing year by year. A lot of these fans are just idiots like that, and us, we're the minority now that sit there and just think, why on earth would you wish that? Like what Matty said, yeah, I echo the same thing. I want to win this Premier League title with Man City's full squad because I want to be better than them. I don't want any excuses for any rival players, and even for my own sort of sense of pride to go, oh yeah, but Haaland weren't fit. Oh yeah, but Rodri was out. I don't want any of that. I want to be the best team in England, and that means to be best team in England, I want to beat the best teams. And I don't want a half version of Man City. I don't want a one-player weakened version of Man City. I want to beat the best version of Man City because that means that we are the best. It's as simple as that. And these Arsenal fans, yeah, like I didn't know about people putting, but I'm not surprised. Probably on mutant Twitter, people putting their face, their faces of Rodri crying. I mean, the geezer, like you said, the geezer could never play football again. He's a multi-millionaire, but might not walk properly again. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely classless, and it's starting to get a lot of fans that are like this. I can't wrap my head around it, and I'll never wrap my head around it because I'm not that pathetic. Thank God. Thank God I don't surround myself with people like you lot that are either. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, as opposed with the Timber, the Timber, yeah, Man City, let's get it right, yeah? Man City can give a fuck about us because we don't win anything. You know, all right, yeah, we might be a little bit of a pain in the backside, a little thorn in the foot or whatever, but we're no real threat. There's no reason why they don't select. They'll go, Timber got injured today. Well, it makes no difference to us whether he was fit or not. They don't care because we don't win. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't have wished him any sort of ill being, but essentially they couldn't give a toss. You know why? Because they're the best team in England, and they have been for a very, very long time. And until it's almost, let me nudge on this as well with this rivalry now. All of a sudden, rivalry. This must be the one fucking sided rivalry I've ever seen in Premier League history. If Arsenal and Man City are now rivals, because you're looking at the team in the last 2-3 years that won Champions League, multiple Premier Leagues, FA Cups, 3 or 4 League Cups on the bounces and things like that. We won an FA Cup in 19 with Emery's side. And that's a rivalry, is it? I mean, come on, when you look at yourselves in the mirror and you're saying, oh, yeah, this is a proper rivalry now, and rubbing your hands together, I look at you and think you're an absolute prick. What do you think when you look at yourself and think these sort of mad things? I can't wrap my head around it, boys. Oh, it gives me the ump, it does. You can probably see, but I don't know, yeah. It does give me the ump. Absolute rivalry. What are we talking about? Bloody rivalry. We ain't won anything. I ain't won a league for 21 years. How's it a rivalry? What fucking rivalry here? Come on, man.
Kenny, you know, you're old school like me. You know, I've never in my life ever celebrated an injury to a professional footballer or any sportsman of any level. And I've seen 2 players where I've refereed break legs, and it's horrendous. It's like a bloody gun going off. Mate, what is going on here? What are we doing?
Well, that's the thing. Arsenal fans, you know, they witnessed, you know, they witnessed Eduardo, you know, with Martin Taylor, and they witnessed Shawcross and Aaron Ramsey. And not only do we haven't only just witnessed players who've broken legs, we've also witnessed fans who've been close to death. You know, so players who've had to be resuscitated on a football pitch. You know, Mwamba,
yeah,
you know, Ericsson. And then when things like that happen, the football community, regardless of who you support or, you know, whether you're related to that person, you always think come together. That was a bad injury. That is an ACL. The fact is that Arsenal fans want to celebrate it. You got one guy who's doing his utmost, his best to, how to say it, repair his relationship with the fans, like anyone cares, by coming up with that nonsense and trying to say, oh, but he tried to break Odegaard's leg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think in Wangan here, that things like that happen, but to celebrate an injury is pathetic. But once again, you've got to remember, the people that we're talking about are internet fans, social media fans. You know, everyone, Arsenal seems to have so many prominent social media fans, and have so many prominent, how do I say it, YouTubers, that it's all about getting it out there first. Who do you want to impress the most? Arsenal fans just want to impress as many people as possible, get as many like likes or follows, you know, maybe some endorsements. So they aren't going to come out of crap like that. And that's the thing. That's the way to go now if you want to be a prominent YouTuber or do well financially out of this game. You have to be the most passionate fan. You've got to be able to defend Arsenal left, right and centre. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Now, sorry, JD. It's not part of my season ticket. And, you know, I could pay a little bit extra, but I thought, you know what? I went to a League Cup game about well over 20 years ago, maybe 25, 26 years ago. And it was one of the biggest mistakes I made. The fact is that the atmosphere is a joke. Obviously, I have been. It's a lie. I'm ashamed of myself. But when there's been big games like Liverpool in the semi-final, Chelsea in one of the games, or Spurs and West Ham, I have unashamedly gone to those games. But other games, I have to admit, I say respectfully, Bolton, I wouldn't get out of my bed. I'd rather watch the game at home and cook my jerk chicken. But saying that, our fans, you got to remember one thing. Our fans are a nightmare. One thing you can't lie about as well is, without a shadow of a doubt, just remember one thing. As Matty says, the ones who shout the loudest are the ones who are the weakest. Let's not forget, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that only covers 1% and even lower than that of our fan base. 99% of our fan base wouldn't know any of us. They might, that's a lie. They would know us, but they won't come up to us and say, mate, I saw you last night. Some might, some may not. But if you go and say Arsenal, they will know you. I was in Sainsbury's before the game, and one guy, I saw he's pushing his mum in a wheelchair. She had an Arsenal shirt. I said, lovely shirt, and he said, yeah, I watch you and Lee every week. But that's about it. The fans who would go to the Emirates, they're not represented by these guys on AFTV. They're not represented by how do I say it, the Get Along Gang podcasts. They haven't heard of any of these guys. They're more likely to watch us because we say as it is. But all these people, don't listen to them. They're not worth listening to. They're all after their football content awards. They're all after, maybe getting a gig with AFTV, so they can
chasers, mate. Still there.
Before a North London derby, AFTV, rather than talking about the match, they had a chicken shop day. Says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Question for you there, mate. Do you think Haaland is better than Balotelli, Kenny?
What do you think, mate? What do you think? That question requires a one-word answer. Yes. Without shadow that, Balotelli is one of the football's biggest disappointments. He's a person who played football because he's good at it and because it made him money. He had no love for the game.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Right, let's move it on. Tonight, Bolton, we just mentioned, League Cup.
Jack's just given a team. Not there. Sorry to interrupt you, Jack.
It's in the private chat.
The private chat.
Yeah.
Right, hang on. I've got it here.
Yeah.
Porter, Nichols, Kivior, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Jorginho, Enweri, Saka, Sterling, Jesus. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Let me star that. And I'll come back to it. Okay, we've got it. So, right, no, let's talk about that then. Let's go with that. That team lineup. A lot of kids in there, mate. Under 17 starting goal. Interesting. Anybody, Matty? What do you think?
They're going to have to protect that young man because at that age, you start getting a goal or two in, then confidence drops. The defense is going to have to be locked in. The communication is going to have to be very, very good tonight on set pieces and opportunities that they have to score. And it's going to be interesting to see how Enwari has got a full game. Skelly's in. Jesus. He's got to score tonight. Jesus has to score tonight. Jesus has to score tonight in this game. Now, if he cannot score against League One opposition, we need to have a very serious discussion about the rest of his season. There's a couple players here tonight that the Jorginho, Sterling, Sterling and Jesus better have the game of their life tonight. If they don't have it, gentlemen, then we've got some major issues going forward this year. If they can't handle the League One opposition tonight, we got major problems going forward.
Yeah, the thing is as well, Sterling ain't going to get much of a better chance to start off his career, is he? At the Emirates, his Arsenal career, obviously, is what I mean. At the Emirates, against quite an inferior team, he's going to be one of the senior members of the side as well. So he's got a real chance, really, to sort of make himself the star as well. So we know Jesus, like what you said, he's been having sort of issues. both of them two have, they can really put themselves out there and really get themselves sort of going, You absolutely expect us to dominate the ball. So these two players should be quite instrumental in what we're doing today, There's no reason why we can't find space. We usually do at home. And especially back with Sterling, he sort of said, oh, you haven't seen the best of me yet. Well, we want to fucking see something close to it, didn't we, tonight? He's got a great opportunity, hasn't he? A great opportunity here. And if he lets the game pass him by at home against Bolton, I mean, your words just mean nothing then, didn't they? I just really hope these two boys, like what Matty said, I'll echo it. They've really got to step up tonight, senior members of this squad. And they're not going to have much of a better opportunity to just give Arteta that little headache, just ahead of that Leicester game, because another game we should be winning. Ask him a question, here's your stage now. Go and do the business. Get some assists, get some goals, do something.
Well,
you're spot on, mate.
Bolton haven't won they haven't won at our place in 23 years. That's Highbury, obviously, and the Emirates.
Oh, 23 years. When was the last time? Because I know they beat us in the fourth round in '94. They beat us in the fourth round of the FA Cup when Gidley and McAteer were, had a good game. But the biggest elephant in the room. I think it's going to boil a lot of piss for I put them in inverted commas. Saka needs rest brigade. He's playing today. That's quite extraordinary.
What I told Lee the other night, Kenny. I said we were talking, in the back, and I told him, I said, Saka playing. He said, you think he's playing? I said, yeah. I said he sat down the whole half of the Manchester City game, so yeah, he's playing.
Interesting.
I don't think it's extraordinary though. The Saka must rest brigade will be having murders about it. But the fact is that I was on Dan Show yesterday, and Igor went for his team, and I agreed with everything. But you had Premsey; he was adamant, and what? Everything Premsey said made me think, yeah, you know what? What me agreeing with Igor's team was the right thing, but it went against the grain of what I've always said. Premsey said, we've got to go and play our best guns to go and win a trophy because we haven't won anything for 4 years. And so playing Saka, I ain't got a problem with. Mix it up with the kids, I get it. But I think the Porter and goals is a necessity. They say Raya's injured, but why don't you just come out and say, I need Raya for, not just for Leicester, but I need him for PSG next Tuesday. I think people will respect that brand of honesty more if the truth was added rather than just come out with give the kid a chance. But let's face it, Neto played in the we discussed this on a Monday. That Neto played in the earlier rounds of the Carling Cup, so it's a case of just putting the lad in, isn't it, and seeing where we can take him. But it's good experience. I mean, Peter Shilton made his debut for Leicester City back in the 60s, and I think when he was 16 or 17. You do it. Ray Rooney started the game when he was 16. James Milner's made his debut when he was 16. Trevor Francis, 16, 17, mate. God bless his soul. You've got to start somewhere. You might as well start in at the deep end.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, Kenny, you nearly alluded to this one. The last time they beat us was 94 in the Cup replay. And the manager was, can you remember the manager of Bolton?
Yeah, Bruce Rioch.
There you go. And where did he go after that?
Came to us. Never given a chance. Bruce Rioch was the Scottish, I call him the Scottish Unai Emery.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'll give you that.
We signed Bergkamp. I'll take that.
You stole it, Aaron. I was going to say it.
The geezer on my wall here, man.
Yeah.
Worth every minute of him, wasn't it? You know what I mean? To get that geezer in the door.
Yeah.
The way some of our fans talk about, mention Bergkamp in conjunction with Arsene Wenger, you think Arsene Wenger signed up Bergkamp, Ian Wright. Bruce Rioch gets little credit. He did try to get us to play some sort of football, but the fact is that David Dean already had Arsene Wenger in his mind. He was never going to get the money, never going to get the support. In fact, Ian Wright falling out with Bruce Rioch did David Dean a massive favour. it was just an excuse to get rid of, Bruce Rioch. And Bruce Rioch's a pork chop for not signing that contract. But then again, why would Bruce Rioch sign a contract if he didn't think that he was going to get a long-time future at the club?
Fact. Look at this team here. Nichols, nothing. I know nothing about him.
Oh, I'll tell you what thing. There's one thing called Google or Wikipedia. I'll go Google Wikipedia for you.
Googles.
Google. Wikipedia. Sorry. You can tell that I'm not computer literate. Let's go on Wikipedia. Nichols Arsenal. Let's see what he's about.
How old is this lad?
The thing is, I'm interested that this Porter lad is starting because there was nothing in the team news today.
It was always going to happen because David Reyes is showing to be one of our most important players. It's just, you know what I mean. I'm
sure he'll be on the bench.
No, he's not on the bench. He's not on the bench.
No, the team news says he's not injured.
Is it Stephen Nichols?
Who's the other goalkeeper then?
I mean, as a kid, is it Stephen Nichols?
No, Josh Nichols. His name's Josh.
No, that'd be a fun.
Josh Nichols, 17 years old.
2 17-year-olds at the back. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, who's the other goalkeeper then?
I'll fight. I'm getting it up for you.
Neto can't play because he's cup tied.
That's so Arsenal, that, isn't it? I mean,
basically, the team's going to be Josh Nichols is at right back. At left back, it's going to be Lewis Skelly, and then in defence, it's going to be Kivior and Calafiori, according to my sources. In terms of like the team, because Arsenal Football Club, very nice of them, sent me the team news. So basically, the subs are Rojas, Saliba, Gabriel, Kakuri, Heaven, Partey, Havertz, Martinelli, and Cabia.
That's who I thought might start, because Calafiori went off with a little bit of a niggle, didn't he, against Man City? I thought that Heaven might start next to Kiwior. But obviously they've gone for a bit of protection. And
I'll tell you one thing, though. Tell you one thing. Keep your eye on on Calafiori this season. Keep your eye on Mikel Arteta, because I think Calafiori is a long-term successor to one of our centre-backs. And seeing that he's left-footed, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what he tried last season, leaving him out a few games.
Yeah.
And then finally realising that he's probably one of our best centre-halves. That's an itch that Mikel Arteta never stops scratching. Whenever Mikel Arteta gets an itch about replacing a player, he never lets go.
Yeah.
We've seen Benjamin White. We saw Ramsdale. We've seen what he did for him. Mikel Arteta is just one of those. He's a very, very he gives you enough rope to hang yourself if you're not playing well.
Possibly though, Ken, too is possible little bit of credit. If would it also not be sort of considered maybe a smart little bit of business for the Calafiori thing? Because let's just say, for argument's sake, Real Madrid came knocking for Gabriel. Obviously, they're not. Let's just say, for argument's sake, they did. They lobbed 100 million in there. You've already sort of got a nice little ready-made-ish sort of replacement. So maybe he's sort of thinking about that as well.
But you know what? You know the thing about Mikel Arteta? Mikel Arteta doesn't do fighting for your place. It's black and white. Either you're in favour or you're not. Like Ramsdale, we always knew that he was looking at Raya. He was looking at him for quite a few years, and he waited for him to develop. And then when he bought Raya, I was stunned when Ramsdale was allowed to play against Crystal Palace that game, and then he played against Fulham, and then he played against Man United, and then all of a sudden after we get back from the break, with the European games coming up, that's it. Everything's black and white. Ramsdale's gone up, never to be seen again unless it's a cup game. And you tend to think that if Mikel Arteta believes that Timber is fully fit, I think Benjamin White will get the same sort of Ramsdale treatment. I genuinely think that maybe Gabriel will get the same sort of Ramsdale treatment. You can't put it past Mikel Arteta. No one knows what he's thinking, but he always leaves snippets of his mindset to the fans. And some fans don't want to see it. They don't even want to hear Ramsdale was indispensable. And they don't want to.
We were telling them. We were telling them, like, bro.
You know what I mean? They don't want to hear it. And
Martinelli next too.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about Martinelli being dispensable. And Gabriel's could be a casualty. They don't want to hear it. They want to hear
saying Martinelli for ages, though, Ken, when no one else was. You're one of the first people I said, especially on Cam, that was saying about Martinelli getting rid, and everyone else was giving you a bit of jip for it. And look, you know, you've been proven a little bit right at the minute because the geezer's not been good for 18 months. Let's get that right.
Aaron, I mean, it was obvious. They were getting ready to spend $90 million on Moody. You don't just go spend. You just don't spend $90 million on a position that you're supposed to cherish. So you know, the writing was on the wall. It was right. They don't write, like Kenneth said. He gives you a snapshot of exactly what he get ready to do. But see, most people don't pay attention like all of us do. So they just enjoy the game. You know. But we're actually looking at they're looking at spending $90 million for a position that's supposed to be covered. So something's going on. Something's wrong with this. So then you fast forward 2 more years, and then you see how bad his play is, and now you find out why. Because he probably saw something. I had already saw something that prior to that led him to feel he need to make that decision. So
yeah,
he don't mess about.
Yeah,
Mikel Arteta doesn't mess about. He's a very ruthless man, a very ruthless man, and to the extent that people see him hugging his players and everything. You know, everyone needs a hug at the end of the day. But the fact is that his mindset and his argument when he does replace players is, well, they haven't brought me success. He can actually go back and say, Aaron Ramsdale didn't bring me success. He could easily go look at the stats and even have a sort of like how do I say it, a video trail of Aaron Ramsdale's games and mistakes, and it'll probably be an hour. He's always got that at the back of his mind.
You know what Mikel Arteta, when he gives that player that hug, you know that reminds me of is that mafia hug. You know, you watch that mafia movie.
Yeah,
it's a death. That's it. Yeah.
Question, guys. I just good question actually. Who wants to go first in this one? Tony says, "Hello, gents. Hope all is well with you all. Can I ask a question, please? If Arsenal were to get a striker in the January window, who would you take?" Aaron, go on, man.
Well,
go. Shout it out.
I was going to let Matty go, but yeah, I think it's sort of obvious in terms of who's gettable. It's not probably, considering how the finances are at Arsenal, is absolutely affordable, and there's nothing the club could do about it. He's absolutely demolishing the Portuguese league at the minute with his goals and assists. I can't really look too much further than Victor Gyökeres, if I'm being perfectly honest. You know, slap the money down and you get him, really. He's not going to say no, is he? He's got a release clause. Job done. He's absolutely killing it over there in Portugal, isn't he? Probably something we should have done 2-3 months ago, but I mean, we decided to make a profit instead. Work that one out, considering we're in our wealthiest stage we've probably been in God knows how many years. That's exactly where I'd go. Bar that, get him in, win us the league.
You're saying Gyökeres, yeah? However you pronounce his name, Gyökeres, whatever his name is, 100%. That's it. Get him in. We've got a fantastic chance. If obviously we're there or thereabouts, we still don't know. I mean, we're only 5 games in. Let's get that right. But if come 1st of January, you know, we're there or thereabouts, you know, not too far away behind City, because it's quite hard, you know. We can't beat City from scratch. Let's get that right. So we can't be too many points behind. I'm more sort of thinking about 2 or 3 points, or maybe in front, whatever. Get him in. Great chance of possibly going on and winning the league, because we're suffering up front. We need something up front. Sterling ain't going to be it. He might come in and contribute. You know, only time will tell. But get a striker in. It's what we've wanted for 5 years. Get him in. Pay the money. Job done. By the way, people, there's 160 people in there. There's only 73 likes. Smash the likes, people, please. It does help the channel, gets it out there, helps the channel grow and all that good stuff. Matty, who would you take if you had the option?
I would take Gyökeres as well, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think we missed the opportunity there with Gyökeres, because other teams are going to not be in for him, and a release clause is not in our favor as well. Aaron nailed it. We should that was the first piece of business that should have been done as soon as we entered the season last year. Was he should have been coming in. He should have been in the United States on tour, getting acclimated. Now everybody's well aware of what he offers in the footballing world, and now that everybody's heads is turned. So I presented this on I think it was with you, Jez, or either late that night on Monday on my show. Barcelona will be looking to replace Lewandowski. He's almost 37 years old.
Mm.
We know he's more closer to the finish line than the starting line. So they're going to be looking for someone. Then you've got Chelsea poking around. They're going to be looking. They have no problem throwing money down for a player. And so now we find ourselves in a very, very precarious situation to looking for a striker. And this, once again, I told y'all I'm going to bring him up every time I get a chance. Edu has once again made a fool of himself and has cost this team again. So if we can get him, that'd be cool. That'd be a great makeup present for his ineptitude this past summer. But for me, I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull that off without any hiccups. But that's why Jokers would be my top choice because of course.
Ask the question though, Matty, isn't it? Do you not think though? Just at least try and ask the question because I mean, like you quite rightly said, his head could be turned by a number of clubs because clubs, like you said, are now sort of looking at him. Wouldn't you just get 1st of January? The first second into fucking 12 o'clock, do you know what I mean? That night, lob to pay the release clause, get him in right now. Let's not let other clubs go, oh, we'll sit in the morning and wait for him. The second you're able to put that bid in, go and do it and give him an option. Yeah, Arsenal's paid your release clause. Gyökeres, do you want to go to Arsenal? Yes or no? There's the money. How much do you want, geezer? Just here's a check. Write down what you want. Get over here in the morning. You're signed. Job done. There you go.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, we negotiate by carrier pigeon, though, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they'll
Kenny,
probably wait until
Who would you go for, Kenny? If you had the option?
Well, the problem is that I think if he's, the only person who started off on fire is Gyökeres. I'm beginning to see a lot of him. A lot of fans just seem to be obsessed with him. But as you said before, whether we like it or not, and whether we think our league's the best league in the world and whether it's not been the best league in the world, that's by the by. One thing I would say is that people don't say no to Barcelona. For some reason, Barcelona are a side, in my opinion, that are struggling. They're on the wane. But people are breaking contracts with their clubs to join them.
Yeah.
I mean, the only club that Nico Williams is ever going to leave Bilbao for is Barcelona. Look at Lewandowski's attitude and conduct at Bayern Munich because when he knew Barcelona were in for him, he virtually broke that contract and forced to move to Barcelona. And you got was it De Jong? No,
it was De Jong. I think it was De Jong. Yeah,
De Jong as well. These people, the same sort of volition, same bad behaviour, where they're saying, you know what, it's Barcelona. I'll do anything the same. You know what I mean? How many players are coming for De Jong? How many times have Man United gone in for that player? He won't go. Obviously, it's money because Barcelona have a ton of money, but it's Barcelona. That's how big the club is. So I don't know the situation, but if Arsenal can put through the package, I'll go for Gyökeres. But you know who Arsenal are going to go for again, don't you? Sesko.
Yeah.
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 You're going right back.
He somehow fits Mikel Arteta's preferred DNA. So if we're to say that he fits the preferred DNA, you have to assume that January he'll go for him again. If not January, 100% in the summer. We'll improve this time and say, right, do you want to play for Arsenal? And we will get our man. You won't be seeing any Gyökeres unless Mikel Arteta says he would do it. Because as we've seen before, we only know Arsenal's interested in a player is when Mikel Arteta and Edu actually aggressively going for him. We all knew about Declan Rice. We all knew about Timber. We were a bit surprised by Havertz, but I haven't seen any evidence that you're correct, he's on our radar.
Yeah, Ken, this is like one of the problems, though, mate. We've got a team that are ready to win now, and Arteta wants to bring in a striker that ain't going to be ready for another year or two. That's the issue.
Story. That's the Arsenal story.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's a lot of football clubs, though.
I want your predictions for tonight. Arsenal, Bolton Wanderers. Aaron, what's your prediction?
I mean, I think they might nick a little goal, Bolton, but yeah, I'm gonna go 4-1. I think we've got to be putting a few goals past them, haven't we? It's as simple as that. Yeah, 4-1. That's a bit mean.
Kenny, what's your prediction?
I'm going 4-1. You know, so I think Jesus will get an hat-trick. Jesus will get an hat-trick, and then, you know, all will be well, and then who knows, he'll probably start and do nothing against Leicester City on Saturday. Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win, and you know, that's just not my. I hope my arrogance isn't taken over and my stupidity. But you'll never know with football. Football, as Screevesy says, is a funny old game, but it's not that funny. Football is also predictable when a team going for trophies allegedly is playing a team in the third tier of football, English football, at home. May I remind you, we're playing at home. We're winning this game at a canter and quite comfortably.
Matty, what's your view, mate?
3-1.
3-1. Yeah, I'm going 3-0 myself. But I might change that now, seeing that we've got a very young, inexperienced keeper on there. So I'm going to stick with my 3-0. I'm going to stick with it. But we'll see. Big up, Dow. Thank you, mate, for your super chat. Question: to get the top quality players in, don't we need to win something first? I don't believe any world-class player is looking at Arsenal. Great question. Kenny, that's my belief. I just don't think this club attracts the best anymore.
That's sad. That's a sad excitement, because you have to ask. You have to say it's sad, because we've shown we can spend money, mobile phone numbers, i.e. paying over £100 million. We've done it with Declan Rice. Really wanted him. If we really want the player, then it depends on the players who really want to come. Remember, the players we went for really want to come. But you're talking about Declan Rice, who's not yet in his prime. Havertz, not yet in his prime. Timber, young lad. But when you're talking about a player who's just about to be in his prime, 25, 26, yeah, we're not getting those players. Man City seem to be getting them. You know, even Chelsea seem to be getting them. And that says a lot. But as I said before, you win trophies and you look like you're dominating, you'll get those players. It's just football for footballing facts. It's always been the way. Man United had no problem attracting players because they dominated English football. Players like Dwight York, Andy Cole. Yeah. Not a problem getting them in. Roy Keane wasn't a problem getting him in. You know, Teddy Sheringham, who was, believe it or not, was a top player at the time. No problem getting in. Man City, self-explanatory. You know, players who are up and coming, they all went to Man City. Some didn't work out, but Man City, I mean, there's a massive misconception about Man City where people talk about that Man City have only been a top side when Pep went there. That is quite an inaccurate misconception, and it's actually quite an insult to a player like Yaya Toure. You think about Yaya Toure when he was at that club, he was like Mr. Man City. He won 2 titles in an era when it was still competitive. Man United were competitive, Chelsea were competitive, and and they're going on like Man City. It was only Pep that made them great. It was complete and utter rubbish. Don't people remember what Yaya Toure did when he won the league in 2020? In 2014, when he scored 20 goals from the midfield, 20 league goals from the midfield. But you've got Arsenal fans going, "Oh, we can't beat Man City because of Pep," as if Man City didn't win under Pellegrini and Mancini. As if Man City weren't slapping us left, right, and centre before Pep got there.
That's the shocking part about it. It's like it makes you wonder when did y'all start watching football? Because you said,
Exactly.
man, I remember, I distinctly remember them 10, 11, 12 when they would come through here, man. You know,
They're
they would
mashing us.
turn us over.
Mashing us.
That was some of the games that put Bang under fire. was the best City game.
They've been smashing us for well over a decade. I don't know what these people are on about.
Yeah. In fact, if you go back to the 2011, 2012 season, count how many times we beat Man City in those 12 years. I bet you still got fingers in one of your hands.
Hey, you know what? You know what made everybody so mad, especially us. We all remember this. Was the thing that had us so heated was they were beating us with our players. Like, bro, we get turned up with our own players. It's Clichy and Sonya and all them over there. We get
Nasri, Adebayo,
yeah.
Torre,
we get up with our own players.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this up soon. I'm going to go on to my next stream, watch along.
For the Arsenal.
Sorry?
Watch along for the Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going to do a watch along with that. Yeah, Dale, I'll send you the link, man. I'll get your message in a minute, man. If you want to jump on, you're more than welcome. Matty, you doing a watch along with Lee's?
Yep, on with Lee. Get ready to head that way. I'm gonna go take me some meds here. This sinuses, man, just killing me this year. So I'm gonna go take some meds and rest up and get ready to hop on with Brother Lee.
Fair play, man. Right, before we close it down, Aaron, give me your. This is a case in point, Aaron. Right, we were talking backstage how you've got things you want to talk about. I haven't talked about hardly anything I wanted to talk about because the chat leads it. You guys have led it, and that's what these shows are all about. It's the best way. It's the best entertainment. Because even though I've got an agenda to talk about, it's just best to let it go naturally. And that's the funny thing about it. Mate, give us we haven't even touched on it. We're not going to get time now, but give us your match score prediction for Arsenal-Leicester, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Leicester, all right, they held the scum down the road, didn't they, to a little draw. But I expect us to be steamrolling them by 3 or 4. Again, almost sort of mirroring what I said about Sterling and the Jesus with this game. You know, we've got an excellent opportunity now to get some momentum, start scoring some goals because our attacking play has been absolutely dog shit. Let's get that right. It just has. It's an excellent opportunity on the weekend to just get ourselves sort of moving, get ourselves going. They haven't even won a game in the Premier League yet, Leicester. 2 losses, 3 draws, I think. So, you know, they're hardly, you know, the up-and-coming promoted sort of team, you know, ready to give people a challenge. We've got to be putting them to the sword Sunday. I expect absolutely nothing less than about a 4-0 win. Simple as that. 4-0. That's what I want.
You'll be at the game, Kenny?
No, I won't. I mean, with you, I mean, bloody hell, I'm not too far from the stadium, but the reason why I declined is because my season ticket, I'll pay enough money for the 23 games I get.
Leicester.
Oh, Leicester, yeah, of course I'm going to be at Leicester. I thought you were talking about tonight. Oh, without shows that, I'm going to Leicester. Yeah, after Leicester, we got, I think we got Southampton. Was it Southampton next Saturday?
Southampton.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll tell you one thing, right? Be prepared to put your fingers down your throat and come up with all your stomach contents. Because when Aaron Ramsdale comes back to our ground, it's going to be one of the most cringiest things we'll ever see in a football pitch. If you think certain fans are cringy, you ain't seen nothing yet in about a week's time. Sorry, in about 11, 12 days, 10 days time.
True.
Cheers for the warning, man.
Give us your prediction Saturday, mate. Give us your prediction. Score.
I think Arsenal it's going to be an hard game. I think Arsenal are going to win by a goal. I think it'll be about 2-1 because I do think that without Odegaard and with our strikers not being on form, I still think we're going to struggle to break them down. Leicester will be fools to play an expansive game of football. They'll you know what I mean. They're going to try and not concede early and make it difficult for us. Play the referee like a fiddle. You know, do what we did against Man City. It's going to be a very frustrating time. I think all your fan camps with Lee are going to be one littered with frustrations and complaints.
True. Matty, before you have to go and batten down the doors and windows and God knows what else you've got to do over there, give us your prediction, mate, for Leicester City on Saturday.
2-1. I'm right there with Kenny. I think it's going to be a case of struggling to break down teams, and we're going to nick a few goals, and we'll get out of there. I think it's going to be that way most of the season. To be honest with you, it's just going to be until we get to January, until we can get some kind of scoring cycle going here. But I think that game it can be a banana peel. You know, Vardy always loves to party when he plays us. So
No, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you what, I like your
He does.
positivity. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Woo! You can't rule it out. You can't rule it out. The way this season, you know how we started this season, is reminiscent of how we started last season, especially when we got into this kind of time where we were how to say it, we were winning games in the last minute. We're basically crawling over the line in virtually every match we played. You know, even Man City, when we beat them, it was a fantastic atmosphere and a good win, but it was a late goal. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way to play. It's only when we put Declan Rice in the number 8 position, got Partey and put in number 6. You know, who knew Declan Rice could play number 8? And then we put him in the set pieces, and then we finally thought, you know what, Kai Havertz, for all that money, should be scoring goals. Who knew? That's when we finally, in my opinion, like I said, looked like a team that could win the title. But with Odegaard out, with our strikers not hitting the barn door from a yard out, and Havertz been taken out with his better position, I can't see how we're going to play the flowing football we should be playing. I can't see it.
No. Aces says, before we wrap this up, Jesus on Sky Sports now talking absolute garbage. He says that he hasn't found his scoring boots this season yet. Great. Well, that's just what we want to hear.
Where were them boots? Did they ever exist, by the way?
Well, apparently he doesn't score goals. Hendon says, hopefully the Hurricane will lose intensity by the time it makes
Facts.
to Atlanta. Matty. All right, guys. Aaron, shout out your channel, man. And you've gained a couple of subs tonight, I see. So
Thank you.
tell us what you got coming up, man.
Yeah, just the same as sort of been doing for the last couple of weeks. I think I'm going to be doing a couple of post-match sort of hangovers, I call them. Just reacting to the games on the day and evening, usually a couple of hours before. But we've had a lot of away games, so I've been able to sort of a little bit earlier. But where I'll be coming home from the stadiums because I've got season ticket like Ken. I haven't really worked out what times I'm going to be able to do it sort of yet, but I'll definitely be live at some stage on Saturday. I'll be putting a thumbnail out. I'll sort it out the next couple of days. But yeah, 100% something to be landing on the Saturday, mate.
Top man. Kenny Ken, where can we find you, mate, on Insta, please?
You can find me on Instagram at KennyKane1972. Yeah, we're obviously going to do like a little thing after we finish this to let everyone know about the team news. I'll do my little, breakdown after the match, and then we do fan cams with Lee, and then what I'm going to do is just cook and watch the game. I hope I'm going to be enjoying a good game of football. Right now, Sky Sports has shown old Bolton and Arsenal matches when Bolton have beaten us. Yeah, because I think Kevin, on the Sky Sports Plus, Kevin Nolan is in the studio with Jamie Carroll, because obviously Kevin Nolan lost his job when David Moyes was party company with West Ham. So yeah, Kevin Nolan's probably looking for a job. Who knows? He might even go back to Liverpool and leave the East End and Essex.
Facts, man. Matty, you'll be over on Lee's channel in a little bit.
Yep, I'll be over there at Lee's channel, and you can find me here on YouTube, Selling Gooner, right here on YouTube, brother.
Top man, good show the other night. Really enjoyed jumping on your channel.
Appreciate you coming through, man.
I think it's only the second time I've been on your show. I think
on the new one, yeah. This is on the new show, yeah. That's the one me and Lion text. No, we try to do weekly.
Nice
Raw
one.
talk.
Right, I'm going to do the outro, people. We're out of here. I will be going on doing the watch log for the Arsenal Bolton guy. game. Big up, Mama. Thank you as always, top. And we'll do the outro. We'll get out of here, and I'll catch you all soon, people. Thanks for watching and liking, subbing, whatever. And take care. Take care now.